The big story we're tracking this afternoon is news coming out of Karachi, where the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has claimed responsibility for a daylight terror attack on the streets of the city, where 47 people have been killed and over 20 injured. Now, what we know is that a group of 6 gunmen opened indiscriminate fire on this bus. They stopped the bus, got on board and then fired again at all passengers, ensuring that no one remains unharmed. There were close to 50 to 60 people traveling on this bus. Local journalists are saying that death toll expected to rise. The injured have been rushed to local hospitals. This bus was carrying members of the Ismaili community. The incident took place near the Safura Chowk area of Karachi, which is on the outskirts of the city. Let's get a word from Headlines Today's Hamza Amir, who's with us on the phone line. Hamza, we believe that crack teams are on the ground looking for those 6 gunmen, even as the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan claims responsibility for this brutal daylight attack.
Well, yes, in fact, the search operation is underway, but today this attack has actually raised a lot of concerns regarding the security situation, because the attack was a really brutal one. 5 gunmen on 3 motorbikes actually came in, they entered into the bus, and then they made sure that everyone is hit on the chest and the head. They ensured that every single one is shot. So out of the 60 people, that's why the casualty is already at 47, and we only have 30 injured. And I think that is also expected to rise because everyone is in critical condition. It was done in an area which is about 5 minutes drive from Malir Kent, which is an army secured area. Every day there is movement from that area. Then the Ismaili colony has been established over there for decades now. It's called Al-Azhar colony, and the Ismaili colony is established over there, and the people have been living over there comfortably. So this attack raised a lot of concern. This might not be one of the very outside suburbs of Karachi. In fact, it is right in the center, because the universities are close by. The Safura Chowk, the roundabout that they're talking about, actually links directly to the University Road of Karachi University, ND University, and on the other side it goes towards Malir Kent. So it is nothing less than a center of the city, in the heart of the city, and in broad daylight such an incident happening and then people fleeing that area is a major concern on the competency of the security agency.
Absolutely, a huge question mark on security agencies. As Hamza Amir is pointing out, this is not an area, as we were earlier being told, on the outskirts of Karachi, but in the heart of Karachi, close to an army camp, close to the university, the Central University of Karachi. Hamza, we're also being told that a high alert has been sounded in the city. Are people being advised to stay indoors?
Well, yes. In fact, since the time this incident has happened, there have been alarms raised. Also, people have been told to stay inside and also keep their doors locked, because there is a search operation going on, and they are trying to find those 5 people who actually might be, moving around the area or be in hiding. So that is why the people have been told to stay away from the seats as much as possible.
Right, and Hamza, since you're saying that this is the heart of the city, a high security zone, also considering that an army camp is close by, would agencies be able to access CCTV footage that would probably give a clue as to which would help in identifying these gunmen, considering that they spent a considerable amount of time on the road, first blocking the bus, shooting at it and then getting on board to ensure that every single passenger is attacked?
Seeming that the area I'm talking about is not an army's camp, it's an army's residential area called Malir Kent, and it is a huge space. And before that, there's a lot of damp area in the middle. I mean, Safura Chowk has got apartments, has got a small locality of people, has got people from the category of lower middle class who live around that area. And also, right behind it is the Suparco's office as well. So it is actually on the sidelines, but not as far as the suburbs are supposed to be. It is not outside Karachi. From the heart of Karachi, the center from Karachi, it is about 15 to 20 minutes drive, and that is not how you define a suburb. So it was a very accessible area, but being damp in the center and on the sides. It has got many ways that actually give way to the terrorists to actually flee the area, because from that side the jungle starts also, and it links straight to the highway that goes outside Karachi. So it is
Alright.
very highly possible that the terrorists might be able to flee in disperse themselves in more wider areas than normal.
All right, Hamza, stay on with us. We're also being joined by Alauddin Khanzada, Dawn correspondent. Thanks so much for speaking to Headlines today. Alauddin, what more can you add?
After all, obviously, this was a tragic incident that took place in early hour of this morning, in which 43 people lost their lives, and more than 7 or 8 people are injured. They have been shifted to the nearby hospital where they are fighting for their lives. Unidentified gunmen who entered into a community bus that was heading towards the heart of city, that is the Aisha Manzil, and they all are businessmen. They were heading to their businesses. In fact, most of the people who victim in this tragic incident, they are residing in Scheme 33 and the nearby areas, from where by a community bus they were heading towards their businesses, that is in surrounding of Aisha Manzil area. When the bus reached near Safura Chorangi, so unidentified assassins armed with a sophisticated weapon, they stopped the bus.
And Alauddin, I've been told that you've apparently visited that spot. Can you describe to us the pictures that we managed to get from some of those local TV channels there? There's a picture of a local man holding some bullets in his hand, also a cap that he's managed to pick up, assumingly, presumably owned by one of those gunmen.
This is, the tragic incidents are common in Karachi, and the people, most of the Karachiites, they are used to such incidents, likewise this. But soon after the incident, when the assassins escaped from the spot, all of the area people, they gathered on the spot, and obviously they might have collected the MPs fired by the assassins.
All right, and do we know what kind of guns were used to fire at these people on the bus?
So, according to police, it was some automatic weapon, and 9 MPs are found from the bus and the outside of the bus. And not a single person, not a common citizen can evaluate that what sort of weapon is. So what police said, this was some automatic weapon and the 9mm pistol.
All right. So Alauddin Khanzada, they're telling us that locals there are also used to seeing such brutal attacks on the ground, which is why they had the presence of mind to collect evidence before it could be damaged. We are playing out visuals of a man holding up a gun, holding up bullets and a cap inside a packet. A brutal attack in Karachi. Alauddin Khanzada also telling us that police agencies, that the police believes that an automatic weapon and a .9mm pistol may have been used by these unidentified gunmen. Hamza Amir is also with us on the phone line. Hamza, can you tell us what is the kind of operation that has been launched on the ground to nab these gunmen?
Well, for now, the Rangers officials have actually cordoned off the area. They have said that they will deploy more officials to actually ensure if the killers are around that area, they should be caught. But the Rangers deployment is not as high as the police, while locals have been saying that the police took a lot of time to come, though the police station was only 5 minutes away. They could have come earlier. They even came after the Rangers official got to the spot. And the bullets that they were talking about is basically are the shells which have been picked up by the locals who were around it. As I said, there are people from the lower middle class area who have their shops. They live in small apartments on the main road where this incident happened. So whenever, when the firing was over, obviously everyone came in and they picked up a few shells of those bullets, which would identify what kind of weapon was used by the militants. But for now, the Rangers actually are doing a search operation, and they're trying to ensure that if the terrorists are around or in hiding anywhere, then they should be caught.
Right, so search operations underway inside the city to nab these gunmen who managed to flee the spot after opening indiscriminate fire and killing 47 people on the spot. Alauddin Khanzada of Dawn News is also with us on the phone line. Alauddin, describe to us the exact location of this place where the shooting took place, and how easy was it for these gunmen to escape from this spot? Considering the location of this locality, we're being told that it's a suburb. Was it easy for the gunmen? Could it have been easy to escape from the city?
In fact, the Karachi is a largely and thickly populated area, and its diameter is at about 3.5 hour drive. If you want to go to one end to another end of Karachi, you have to leave 3.5 hours. But the locality exactly located where this tragic incident took place, it is Safura Chaurangi, and the people who are residing in Scheme 33, in fact, they were the residents of that area and the surrounding areas, and most of them, they were businessmen, and among dead, there are 16 women also, and it was a community bus that was carrying those people, more than 50 people, and when the bus reached near Safura Chaurangi, this is the thickly populated and what I can say, easy to access area where all four ways are open to go anywhere in Karachi. But soon after incident, the assassins make their good easily in Karachi where the situation are not too good as the law and order situation are. But the assassins escaped and open-heartedly said they speed away. And no one was there who was watching this incident. But obviously there were people who were residing in nearby residential areas, and certain shopkeepers were there. But they were not in watch of this. They were not aware of this incident.
Right, Alauddin, stay on with us. Let's also get a word from Hamza Amir, who's also with us on the phone line. Hamza, has the hospital issued a list of casualties, considering that their family members back home would be worrying, would want to know whether their loved ones are safe or whether they've succumbed to those bullet injuries?
Well, for now, the only differentiation that we have been able to find is the number of women and children and men who actually have been killed in the attack. For now, they haven't actually released any list of particular names which should be able to help the family members find out their loved ones. And in the hospital authorities, not only in the hospital they've been taken to, but also in all the other hospitals, there has been an emergency situation imposed, and they have said that anything that is required, from availability of blood or doctors or nurses, that it will be facilitated from all the other hospitals across Karachi.
All right, and Alauddin Khanzada, I believe you visited this spot where this terror attack took place. Can you describe to us what you saw there?
No, there was nothing. When I reached the spot, there was the bus of victims, and that was abandoned, and all injured people. Initially, the death toll was 12. When most of the people, they received bullets from very close, so they were critically injured. They were taken to the hospital, where most of them, they succumbed to their lives in hospital. And the death toll finally comes out, according to police. Mr. Ghulam Haider Jamali, the IGP Sindh, what he narrated, the 43 people had been killed in this tragic incident, and seven or eight people are injured, who are critically injured and given the medical treatment to the nearby hospital.
Right, and Hamza, this is obviously a very well-planned attack. The gunman would have known that at about noon, members of the Ismaili community would be driving out of their colony on a bus, and they also knew for sure that this bus would have people from the business community. Also, most of them would be from the community that they plan to target.
Well, yes, in fact, this bus is a special bus that actually moves out and comes back in every day and taking the Ismaili community people, because the Ismaili community has been living over there for decades, and they use their own transportation for the people to go to their work and bring them back home, only due to security reasons, only due to the differentiation of sectarianism that is there. That is why this bus was very well known, and their routes and their timings were also not difficult to find out. It was certainly a very, very well planned attack, and it happened at an area which is surrounded by very, very important installations. It is surrounded by universities on the main roads. It is surrounded by colonies of locals who are lower middle class people, filled up in apartments on the main roads on the Saint Safura roundabout. Around that is Suparko. Behind Suparko is another troubled area that belongs to Baloches, and then on the other side, if you go straight on that road, it goes to Malirkant, in which you cannot even enter if you don't have the address and the name of the person you want to go to. Otherwise, they would send you back. This is how secured that Malirkant area belonging to the army is, because it is a residential area and also one of the training sites the military operates. So it is nothing less than the center of the city in Karachi. So Karachi is a widespread city. It might be on the sides, but it is still the center because it was heavily populated, and yet it had a few dense areas around the sides which actually linked and moved towards the highway, the main highway. That I think would be the the exit point for the militants and the terrorists who attacked. And because the police authorities took a lot of time, I hear that they took at least an hour to get to the spot while they were 5 minutes away. That gave an open opportunity to the attackers to flee wherever they wanted to go, because they had 10 tons of options of going and rushing off and dispersing in a widespread area of trees and a small sort of a jungle where they could be difficult to find, and rangers and police officials could not be deployed in that way. Because they reached on the spot late, they took evidences very late, they started the search operation very late. So I think it actually raised a lot of concerns of how well coordinated the enemies are, and how ill planned and ill prepared our security officials are to tackle such situations and respond immediately.
Absolutely, Hamza Amir there highlighting the fact that laxity on the part of the police is also probably to be blamed for these gunmen managing to flee from the spot after killing 47 people in broad daylight. Now what Hamza is saying is that apparently the police teams took close to an hour to reach the spot, in spite of there being a station almost 5 minutes away. We're getting some reactions from the ground as well. Let's listen in.
हैं और दूसरे मुख्तलिफ वेपन्स हैं, अंदर जाके मारा गया, बाहर से फायर नहीं हुए। जो हमने अभी तक बस को जो मुशाहिदा किया है वो अंदर से ही जाके उन्होंने फायरिंग की है।
अच्छा सर, अपना नाम और पोस्ट बताएं।
मेरा नाम तारिक जदून है, मैं इंचार्ज क्राइम सीन यूनिट ईस्ट हूँ।
अच्छा, यहाँ पे जो बंदे आए थे वो किसी यूनिफॉर्म में थे?
ये कंफर्म नहीं, ये मुझे कंफर्म नहीं कम से कम।
Crime investigation team came in charge.
All right, that reaction coming in from the ground saying that there were no bullet marks on the outside the bus, which means that these gunmen first stopped the bus, boarded the bus, and then opened indiscriminate fire on all passengers. We're also being told that after opening indiscriminate fire with 9mm pistols and AK-47 rifles, they individually went and checked every passenger to ensure that no one remained uninjured. They took their time, and then after they were assured, after they were felt confident that everyone had been hit by bullets, they fled from the spot. Now, Hamza Apir, our correspondent, is with us on the phone line. He's also telling us that the police teams took close to an hour to reach the spot, in spite of this colony being located just 5 minutes away from a police station. These are pictures that we're getting you live from Karachi. Security commandos there also examining the spot. Locals there helping in collecting evidence. We've also been playing out visuals of a man who's holding up a cap that he picked up from the spot, and some empty cartels of bullets. A brutal daylight attack in Karachi. 47 people shot dead. The Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has claimed responsibility for this brutal attack. We were being told that most of these people on board the bus were businessmen belonging to the Ismaili community. Hamza also telling us that this was a bus which took the same route every morning. It left the complex where members of the Ismaili community resided at about 11:30 every day, dropped these people to their places of work, collected them and brought them back. So obviously a very well planned out attack, also considering that there is heavy security inside that complex. And as Hamza pointed out, that people had to actually give the name and address of the person they wanted to visit. The gunmen probably realizing it wouldn't be possible for them to enter the complex, which is why they waited for the bus to come out and then stopped it on the road and opened indiscriminate fire, killing 47 people. The death toll is expected to rise, considering we're being told that the injured have also received severe bullet wounds. Pictures of also people queuing up outside the hospital to find out whether their family members have succumbed to the injuries or whether they are still alive. We'll keep getting you updates on this big story.